Wisdom doesn't begin and end with me. I don't have close to all or even a fraction of the knowledge. I'm just another voice in the wilderness. But it seems to me that truth is truly treason in the empire of lies, that truth is the new hate speech, and that truth is the first casualty in any war, including the information war. And that's what we're in right now. We are in an information war, and we've been in an information war for a very, very long time. We have to understand that at least back in the early 1970s, and I'm not saying that our slavery, our oppression started in the 1970s, but it was revealed in the 1970s with the Frank Church Committee that the CIA had successfully infiltrated all of print and televised media to the point where they were able to create a propaganda machine and network that was able to manufacture consent in America. My question for you is, has that stopped? Has it gotten better? Is the CIA and other intelligence agencies and other, nefarious organizations and individuals, do they have a tighter grip on mainstream media today than they did, a couple decades ago? Because we know it was complete back in the 1970s and even before then. And another question is, if they were successful in infiltrating mainstream print and televised media, would they be any less successful in infiltrating alternative media on social media websites? I mean, these are just questions that you got to ask yourself, because it seems highly likely that if they were able to successfully do what they did with mainstream media, why wouldn't they have the power to do it on alternative media? We're going to watch some of this intro from Tucker Carlson, and I know I'm late to the party on this, but I think I want to lend a perspective that I haven't seen on other venues. I haven't seen it on Joe Rogan. I haven't seen it on Russell Brand. I haven't seen it on Jordan Peterson. I haven't seen it on Twitter. It seems like people just want to take a side. Wouldn't it be better to just kind of step back and see what happens? And even when you see what happens, continue to question, hey, is this guy on my side? Is he really interested in journalistic integrity? Or is he just using that as a facade to inject more propaganda into our already oversaturated propagandized society? Because it is an oversaturated propagandized society. It's like, God, who knows what the truth is? It's like you have to start with the basics sometimes. It's like, dip your toe or hand into a pool and go, okay, water is wet. Okay, we got that reality. I'm breathing oxygen. I can see the sunshine. Start with all these basic things that because beyond that, not much beyond that, it's like, what am I seeing here? Is what I'm being presented with the truth? Or is this just another craftily designed propaganda piece to get me to believe something that's not true so that I can play into the hands of the money masters and the manipulators and the social engineers and the psychological operators so that I can do their bidding even more than I'm already doing their bidding? Because we are all slaves to a system, guys. No matter where you're plugged in, no matter how off the grid you think you are, you're still using a system that is manipulated by people who are not looking out for your best interests. So how do we combat that? What do we do? Who do we talk to? Who can we trust? I think it's probably safe to assume you can't really trust anybody that you don't even know. How about the people that you do know? How many times have you been personally betrayed in your life with people that you grew up with all your life? And now they turn out you can't even trust them. So how does it make sense for people to go, no, I believe Tucker Carlson. He must be telling the truth because mainstream media hates him and they've already put a death sentence on him in Ukraine. Well, how can you trust any of that? And maybe there are factions within the group that would label themselves as your enemy. Maybe Tucker Carlson is, working for himself and his own best interests, which is fine if the end product is, hey, let's get out the truth to the people. Let's engage in actual, real investigative journalism. Let's see what the other side, i.e. Putin, says. How come no other journalist? we know there's hypocrisy. There are things that we can point to that are absolutely hypocritical. You got mainstream media not saying anything about all these journalists from mainstream media sitting down and talking with Putin in the past, but all of a sudden, this is journalism, this is journalism, this is journalism, all this is journalism, but when it gets down to Tucker Carlson, it's treason? You're now a traitor because of this? We know propaganda is in full swing. We know truth is treason in the empire of lies. We know we live in the empire of lies. We know they've enslaved us through all these policies that they've enacted against us. So the question is, what is the deal with this? Is this just going to be another propaganda piece? Something that's going to, further solidify people into the left versus right paradigm lie, where we continue fighting with each other at each other's throats while the banksters wringing their hands go, man, they don't get it. I can't believe this is still working. Second verse, same as the first. Why change the recipe? They're going to continue to eat the rat poison anyway. This is great. We get to walk away again unscathed. Do I trust, just to put all the cards on the table, do I trust Vladimir Putin? Why the hell would I? Do I trust Tucker Carlson? There's so much you can dig up on Tucker Carlson with his, everybody in his zone of influence around him, in his family, all of his colleagues have been seriously compromised by intelligence agencies. Why would I think for a second that he hasn't been compromised? He worked all of his life for fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird MK Ultramedia. He saw things that were wrong and chose not to say it because he didn't want to lose his job. It's hard to get somebody to come to the knowledge of the truth when their paycheck depends on them not coming to the knowledge of the truth. That is a fact. One of the government mouthpieces of that day, a psychological operator, a social engineer, actually engineering and manufacturing consent back in the 1920s and 30s, Edward Bernays, who's the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he wrote, this is in his book Propaganda, which was released in the 1920s or 30s. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in a democratic society. The intelligent manipulation of the opinions of the masses. When you meet people in the regular course of your, daily life, when they express an opinion, the opinion that they express is probably an expression that was manipulated into them, that was propagandized into them, that was indoctrinated and injected into their minds. And if you notice, no matter if you go to New York, Florida, Texas, California, people are saying the same things. And it's become even more prevalent in the intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses has become even easier with the advent of the internet, especially social media. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. What's the true ruling power of our country? The intelligent manipulation of the masses by the unseen mechanism of society. That's the invisible government, which tells me that Biden is not in control. And I'm going to show you another quote from a former president of the United States who says exactly that. It's not the president who's in control, not the vice president, not the governors, not the politicians, not the legislators, and also not the judiciary, the black robe tyrants of the Supreme Court. The people who control the masses are behind the veil, and you probably don't even know their names, which means the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musks of this world and the Bill Gates of this world and the Warren Buffetts of this world, these are the people on this side of the curtain. There are powers that are unseen that they control the strings of these powerful people that we do see. This is so big. I wonder how we can get out of it. And if you just think it's this big, imagine how much more big it is that you can't imagine. Imagine the land they control, the resources they have in their power, the people they can manipulate and move into places and make them do things that otherwise they probably wouldn't have wanted to do.